Reiterating, the Bachelor of Information Technology Cooperative Scholarship is a comprehensive 3-year program which has got 2 placements. But also we have Women in IT Cooperative Scholarship Program, which is exclusive for software engineering. And also if you want to look at other scholarships, they're available at uts.edu/scholarships, and then you'll be able to see the whole range of scholarships that we have for your choice. Now, the BIT program is a fast-track degree program in the sense that in this whole 3 years, you would be able to have 2 placements, and also you would also be able to do different subjects, sub-majors, and also sub-majors, and also you would be able to, from the time you start this program till the time you finish the program in this 3 years time, you actually become a working professional once you finish. And also this particular program is very closely connected with industry, so it's partnered by industry, and henceforth it gives you much more comprehensive work ready sort of an attributes. It's about $49,000 paid over 3 years. You have 2 placements. It's a small cohort of students. It's not a huge number of students that we contend, and that helps us in terms of administration. We have Shelley Payne and Lydia to look after that placement part of it, but I look at the academic part of it. This course has been designed by industry and UTS, so it's a partnership between industry and UTS. So it means that there's a constant feedback that we get from industry about how this course needs to be, what needs to be changed, and then we go about delivering this course as a partnership. Now we have sub-majors, we have data analytics, we have network security, interaction design, enterprise development, networking, cybersecurity, and business information systems and management. Because this is to sort of, when you do your first placement, you get a feel of what area you're interested in and what are your strong points, what are your weak points, and how would you want to exploit the situation that is coming for you for the next 2 years' time. And this sub-majors will give you an opportunity to be able to tune into something that you're really interested in, rather than just doing it and then realizing, oh no. So the first placement is sort of a training exercise for you, which happens in the first year, in your first year, which gives you a feeling of which area that you're interested in, and then you can choose your sub-major later on. Now the course structure is, you can see that there's an industry feel throughout the BIT program, which is how we have designed, Julia Pryor and a couple of other people, and me including. See, when you come in, you have the preparation for being a professional. That's a 3 credit point subject. And then you have the actual placement where you have work integrated learning and also industry experience to be able to document and to be able to develop yourself into a professional. So with these 2 subjects help. They are currently 9 and 6 credit points. Then once you finish, you come to the second year, you have software development studio, then you have some core subjects. In the first year, in the first year you have all the IT core subjects. In the second year, you have the IT core subjects, and you can also choose your sub-major. And then you have the preparation for your second placement. Then finally, it ends up in your last session, you do a capstone, and also you do an industry experience while you're on placement. And then you choose your IT sub-major, and in the 3-year program, that's it done. So yeah, these are our sponsors, ASX, Cal, Benefact, and American Express, ASIC, Westpac. These are our sponsors. We keep getting more and more people adding on every year, and because this BIT program is more in terms of allowing students to be work ready, and once you finish this program, you already have work experience, you have software development studio experience, you're able to deal with certain amount of development, certain amount of business analysis, etc. So you're sort of like, you could be much more desired employable. There are many diverse career opportunities, and IT is a very ever-changing field. But when you get selected into the BIT program, you're really smart. Otherwise you won't get in. From your 2 placements, you get a real good feel, especially from your first placement, because that's the first opportunity for you to work in a professional environment. And then once you finish your 3 years, you have many opportunities, like a business analyst. Many people will say, oh, well, I want to be a coder. Yes, you can be a coder, and there's a market for that. But there's a business analyst is a pretty interesting position because you get to understand the whole business, and also you get to speak to a lot of people in the industry, and thereby actually you try to go ahead much faster. You have data analysts. These opportunities are getting more and more. It's a segue to become a data scientist. I won't say data scientist that will generate, this BIT program will generate data scientists, but it's certainly a pathway. You have information system manager, IT project manager, because you'll be dealing with projects. Everything, the whole software development studio is project-based. Certain amount of aspects are project-based. So you get the sense of how to actually manage your assessments and so on and so forth. And later on, you get a software developer, which is a coder, a backend coder, a senior programmer, etc. Now, there are other scholarships as well. The Women in IT Scholarship, which is about $66,000, which is paid over 4 years, and this is only available for women. Software engineering is the one that allows you to be getting the scholarship. It includes 3 industry placements, and it's only available to females. And Julia Pryor might be able to give you more information during Q&A about this particular scholarship. There are lots of student support. You have, if you sort of like, the bridging courses for the BIT program. So just apply, irrespective of whether, you just apply, you might get through. Because it's a partnership between industry and academia. So you might have, the industry person may like you. There's a weightage in terms of your interview as well as your academic scores, but at the same time, just apply. So if you're falling short, we have bridging courses in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and the peer-assisted subjects, and assisted study success. There are a range of other scholarships, as I just said before. You can look up the uts.edu.au scholarships website, and then that lists lots of scholarships. The IT scholarships will only commence once you finish your degree, once you start your degree.
Now, I'd like to cover what the next steps are in the journey. Now you've got a bit of an understanding of what the Bachelor of Information Technology Scholarship course is about. So in terms of applying, the timeline looks like this. So we're now well before the start of this journey, but the key date that I think you really need to know now is that applications close on September the 6th. There is another opportunity to engage with us prior to that, and that's during UTS Open Week, which is from the 31st of August through to the 5th of September. And at the end of that week is the deadline for applications, September 6th. So plenty of time to get your applications in, but no time like the present. Applications are open now. During September, we'll take a look at all the applications, and we will conduct interviews amongst those people that are selected for an interview during October, and I'll talk a little bit more about those later. Those interviews will be early October before the HSE commences, which is obviously, as I'm sure you all know, in the back half of October and into November. We will be providing notifications of scholarship outcomes in November. So that will let you know that you're in the pool. But of course, the ATAR results, which come out at the end of December, are a key part of the selection criteria as well. So offers will be made immediately after those ATAR results come out, just before Christmas, in fact. So it'll be important for you to make sure that you put the Bachelor of Information Technology as your preference one, particularly for the December main round, which is December 19th. So those offers will go out on December 19th. We'll be calling you to get an understanding of where you're at that time. There are other offer rounds with UAC, but the offers for the BIT will be in that main round before Christmas, as I said. So to apply, you just complete the written application for the Bachelor of Information Technology. The website is bit@uts.edu.au, and we call it the WIT Scholarship, Women in Engineering and IT, is that website there. So as I said, the applications for both of those needs to be done before September the 6th. A couple of tips for your application. Be honest, but don't be shy in boasting about your experiences and also about your ambitions. If you've got some specific examples of things that you've done at school, or examples of your passion for IT, or indeed for engineering if you're applying for the WIT Scholarship, don't forget to include those examples in your application. Any experience is good. It doesn't have to be IT related. We're looking for applicants who are more than just IT specialists, so your communication skills, your engagement with the community are all elements of experience that may help your application. As I said, you can submit your application anytime using the email address. Oh, and another point is to, when you apply, use the same email address that you registered with UAC, and that obviously just helps us connect the right ATAR to your application. That's important. As I said, we'll be then conducting interviews, not for all applicants, but for several in early October. Your interview will be with both a UTS representative and also an industry sponsor. You'll notice, as I'm sure you got the understanding through Shree's presentation, that this course is very much integrated with industry. So they're involved in not just the development of the course and the future direction the course takes, but they're also involved in the interview process. The interview score plus your ATAR gives you the overall score, or the overall ranking of students. It is a 70% ATAR and 30% interview score mix, and that shows the relative importance of the interview. So that's what will happen in October. In terms of tips for the interview itself, look, there's no need to do any specific preparation. We just really want to get to know who you are, but it is helpful if you review your written application prior, and that might give you some material that you can cover during the interview. Some of you may have heard of the STAR approach, but I'll talk through that now. What the STAR approach does, it's a great interview technique whenever you get a question, not just for our interviews, but for any interview that you might go for. Essentially what the STAR approach is four simple steps. Provide an outline of the situation and a hard example. What was the task that you as an individual had to do, and what actions did you actually take? We're interested in what you did, not what the team did, or what your school did, or what your community did, or whatever. We're interested in your actions in this particular case. And then what was the result? What was the outcome? If you can craft your answers using that STAR approach, as I said, it'll stand you in good stead, not just for this interview, but also for any interview going forward. After the interview, we will notify everyone of the outcome. We obviously get the ATAR results the 18th of December and review the preferences. We'll then be contacting you with potential offers. So be in a position to be accepting your scholarship on December 19th. We'll try and call as many of you as we can on that date. So please be in a position to accept. If you decline, that's perfectly understandable, but the benefit of that, us knowing that, is obviously we can make an offer to somebody else quickly. To receive an offer to the course, you'll get notified through UX. So please, as I said, make sure that the BIT Bachelor of Information Technology is your first preference. Particularly, you can obviously change your preferences, but particularly before that deadline, which is December 19th at midnight. Okay, and just a reminder to complete your application, the website address, sorry, is bit.uts.edu.au, and then click on how to apply. And similarly, with the Women in Engineering and IT scholarships, you can see the address there and then click on scholarships and awards. Okay, now I'd like to now introduce Yash. Yash, as you heard earlier in the webinar, is a current student doing the Bachelor of Information Technology. Yash, could you tell us a little bit about your experience as a student?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Chris. So you know what's really the point of the BIT course, right? And I think the most important part, as you know, you guys have probably heard, is the industry experience, right? So in the first year, you get a 6-month industry placement in your second semester, which is, you know, it's a pretty big deal, right? Because you know, very few companies are willing to give, you know, essentially people straight out of high school, you know, an internship for 6 months. And, you know, once you get that internship, you kind of develop an understanding of kind of where you want to head. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that come, you know, start off in bits. When they come in, they want to be, you know, business analysts, or they want to be, you know, coders and developers. And they have these, you know, preconceived notions of what exactly those roles do. And when you actually go in the industry experience and when you work in a position like that for 6 months, you kind of develop a better understanding of what that, you know, position really entails. And so, you know, we have plenty of people that, you know, say they want to be business analysts, and after they work as a business analyst for 6 months, they might change their mind and say, oh, that was good, that's not really how I thought it would be. And maybe they want to try being a developer now. So, you know, it's it kind of really informs you and gives you like a direction which you want to head, which is a really, really good part of the degree, right? And, you know, another aspect, I think, is your cohort. So I think there's around 20 to 30 people in the cohort, which is a really small cohort, right? And everybody in the cohort, they know each other. So because you're all doing the same degree, you end up doing the same courses most of the time. So every subject you do, you essentially have, you know, a group of friends that you can, you know, hang out with, which is kind of a big deal in university, right? Because it gets a lot harder to make friends in university, because everybody shifts around so much. You know, everybody has different timetables, everybody's doing different subjects. So, you know, having a tight-knit cohort who you can, you know, go to if you need help, or, you know, just having friends in the classroom who you can do group work with is a really big deal. Yeah, and, you know, obviously we have really good graduation statistics as well, I think, because you get that 1-year internship during your 3-year degree. When you graduate, a lot of the sponsors that you worked at or your friends have worked at end up, you know, they offer you roles. So you end up with a lot of offers for different jobs and stuff, which is, you know, also really great. I think, I'm not sure if the exact statistic is right. Maybe Shri can elaborate, but it's almost like 95% of something of all BIT applicants get a job straight after they graduate, which is, you know, obviously pretty fantastic. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the starting salary is pretty higher than usual as well, because you have that 1 year of experience, which you can, you know, use as a bargaining chip, or, you know, they take that into consideration, which is really good. So yeah, that's definitely some of the advantages of BIT.
Tremendous. Yes, I appreciate that insight from you. And it's great to hear from a current student as well. So that concludes the sort of formal part of the webinar, but it's not the end of our relationship, I hope. It'd be great if you could stay in touch with us through various mechanisms. If you've got a question after seeing this webinar, feel free to email us on fait@uts.edu.au. A lot more information about the course is available on our website. If you go to it.uts.edu.au, you'll get a lot of information there. And also you can connect with us through Facebook or Instagram. You can see the handles there.